Welcome Helixers to the second episode of Storytime with BobPollo. In this episode, I'll be giving a little bit of backstory about my very first dinner and the game itself. I've been playing for 400 plus hours now, so that's something to both be proud of and ashamed of. I'm sure everybody started the same when they bought this game. You crawl around in the dirt and you hope to get top 10 because battle points and clothes. You want to look as cool as your buddies, right? Just kidding, I was probably the second person I knew to buy it, but I was also the first dinner. But first, a little bit of backstory. My buddy Lucas and I, we've been trying a lot of survival games. Miscreated, 7 Days to Die. He would literally give me the name of a game and I would buy it and try it because it was like under $40, so we just give it a go. But they never really resonated with us gameplay wise. Then he hits me up one day and is like, hey man, get PUBG. Sorry, at the time I was calling it PUBG because I didn't understand. And every single game, I think for the first week that we played, we dropped into Pachinki, which is some excellent foreshadowing for the rest of the story. Not once did we win from Pachinki, so we obviously had to start dropping elsewhere. And we just never picked up the gun tactics and fighting. We just didn't get a hang of it I didn't get a hang of it really until hour 150-ish. And even then, I'm 400 hours in, I still can't win most gun battles. However, I did win one gun battle that was probably the best gun battle that I had. And it was my first solo dinner. So without further ado, let's get rolling on this story. You know the nerves you get when you're sitting in the back of the plane as the plane flies over air angle, however you say that. I'd been so used to playing doubles that I never really considered the fact that every person I see was against me. And when you drop in the middle of nowhere and you see everybody flying off to cities, you try and avoid those places as a solo player if you're as bad as I was. So I dropped somewhere between Lipovka and the shelter. It wasn't the mansion, it was literally just like this small little group of houses. I guess this was also before the mansion was actually called the mansion. Anyways, the game goes on, I avoid the red circle which seemed to be following me, and then I rolled up into Yasnaya to look for a vehicle. And as I spot the vehicle, so does another guy across the street from me. But I'm on the closer side, so I beat him to it, I get in the car, and he starts lighting it up. And I start serpentining, not zigzagging, but driving in the shape of an S, and the car is just losing itself consistently, and I cannot control it. But it was moving south towards the hay bales in that house area. If you've played and you're watching this video, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But then I noticed the circle start moving towards Pachinki, and this is where it gets really hectic. So because that circle's been relatively in that area the entire game, everybody from the school is starting to move that way. So I'm moving across these grassy hills in the Dacia, trying to just avoid getting shot at by people who won the school and won wherever else they're coming from. Keep in mind, I really only had the S686 and the UMP at that point because I just, landed at some random houses and I was trying to win, but by avoiding everybody. But as I roll across these hills, people with M4s and Scar Ls, and as I'm zigzagging, all I hear is tink, 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 tink. They are just blasting my car. And you know how sometimes you're just like, oh, what's the worst that could happen? I hit a tree and I lost most of my health. So I get behind the tree to first aid up. People are still gunning the car down, trying to make it explode and kill me. But I get the first aid off before the car eventually explodes. But by that point, I've left the area. I've moved in towards the field. You know the field I'm referring to. It's the field to the east of Pachinki. There's a house on one side and then Pachinki on the other. So here I am in the top 12, literally just laying in the grass, bullets flying around me. I can hear people moving on either side of me. I can see people moving around and laying down behind hay bales and things, sitting in bushes. But they never once see me for whatever reason. I'm literally just laying in the grass, guns on my back, not really blending in at all. But for whatever reason, and I'm very thankful for it, they didn't see me. So at this point, I'm sure you've had it in your first PUBG dinner. If you've got one, I'm sure most people have by now. Your hands shake a little bit. You start to sweat a little bit. After 400 hours, if we get in the top 10, I'm shaking a little bit. There's literally a running joke that every time I'm in the top 2, I probably choke. However, that's not always the case, and this time was the first time it was ever different. So me and this guy in top 2, we're laying down, I think we're facing each other, but neither of us can see one another because we're literally both just laying in the grass. But I can see a little bit of movement in the distance. It's like a gun shifting back and forth over the grass. So I literally just take aim and blind fire. I hit him a couple of times, but I'm not sure. I can't see the blood splatter. But then I was sure because he started firing back, doing the same thing I was doing. And as I'm firing the UMP9 into a blank set of field, the game stops, the chicken dinner rolls up, and I am ecstatic. Screenshot will be up probably about now-ish. See you next time. It's story time with the BobPollo. Not sure what the story's going to be next time, but it's going to be a good one. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't sell me out.